Hello and welcome back, and today let's talk about Fallout Season 2 and who is Kumail Nanjiani playing. And I think I have an idea who he could be. All we know about his character is that he is up to fight a civil war with Maximus, and he is a high-ranking Brotherhood official. That is all we know officially of his character. But I think I figured it out, and I think everything has lined up for this to be the sole survivor. I think Kumail is playing the protagonist of Fallout 4. And that might sound insane, but a lot has lined up for him to be in this show at some point. And I think we're going to get him in Season 2, not the Courier 6, which is what I've been talking about a lot. I think we're most likely going to get the sole survivor. So what do we know about the sole survivor? We know that his name is Nate, canonically, and he is pre-war just like the Ghoul and Hank. He was frozen in Vault 111 against his will and woken up 210 years later in the year 2287, which is 9 years before the events of the TV show, in the Commonwealth, which is the wasteland around Boston. And that is just a very brief story of the sole survivor. So how does this connect back to the show? So in the show, we know that the canon ending of Fallout 4 is the Brotherhood ending. We know this because in Season 1, we see the Pridwin, which came from the Commonwealth. So we know that the Brotherhood in the Commonwealth were aided by the sole survivor to take out the Institute, and the sole survivor became a high-ranking official, a paladin, in the East Coast branch of the Brotherhood, which comes west in the TV show. And I can hear you asking, why would the sole survivor come west with a Pridwin? Why would he not stay behind? And I answer with, why would he not? He has no connections to the Commonwealth left. He left the vault to find his son died, and all he has left is this purpose with the Brotherhood. If the Brotherhood leave the Commonwealth, he has no purpose. So it makes sense for him, a paladin, to stay with the Brotherhood and come west with them. We also have to remember it's only been 9 years, so the sole survivor is now in their 40s, a lot like Kumail's character is in their 40s, and is still kicking. It hasn't been long enough for him to die of old age. I also have to mention, it makes sense for the sole survivor to want to join Maximus in a civil war. He joined the East Coast Brotherhood because they were willing to help the people of the Commonwealth. They were racist, I do have to admit, they didn't like simps, they didn't like ghouls, but they were very much trying to help the local people. And the West Coast Brotherhood are the complete opposite. So I believe that this civil war will be about the West Coast trying to force the Brotherhood to become more xenophobic and isolationist. So it makes sense for the sole survivor to be like, I'll join Maximus, who wants that more East Coast ethics and ideals for the Brotherhood. So a lot does line up. We have the characterization, it works. The sole survivor would definitely join Max. The age-wise, Kumail's in his 40s, the sole survivor would be in his 40s by the time of the show. We see the Pridwin, and they are both high-ranking officials in the Brotherhood. It lines up. If the sole survivor is not on the Pridwin, that means something really bad has happened. We are definitely going to have one or two scenarios. If the sole survivor is not Kumail's character, the sole survivor is dead. Because if Maxon is not the Elder, the sole survivor and Maxon are bothly dead, and that's why the Pridwin came back. So this theory is now a two-whammer. It is either Kumail is the sole survivor, or Maxon and the sole survivor are both dead from a civil war back east, which is why the Pridwin heads back west. So please tell me down below, what do you think about this theory? Do you think Kumail is playing the sole survivor? Or do you think they're just being super secretive about his character's identity for no reason at all, and he's just this random unique character that they've decided for no reason to keep it secret and not give us some sort of name for this character? And if you don't believe that, do you believe the sole survivor is dead and Maxon is both dead back in the Commonwealth? Please tell me down below, and thank you for listening. I'll talk to you later.